What's up? This is Tuesday, December 2nd. Um, Caught a dub today. Had one break even, one win today. And yeah, let's walk through it. Um, Going into the day, I had a actually not pretty, extremely bullish bias. Cause actually, let me delete the. If we go into the daily, I always start from top down. So we start on the daily. We're delivering off this huge one daily imbalance. So I'm looking to go even higher off that. And that basically set it for me. And we also essentially inverse this gap. I know we didn't fully go displace through it, but I had strong conviction that we're gonna take out some of these highs and this gap was not gonna be respected. So I'll go through my break even trade today. Um, yeah, if we go on ES, I was pretty patient throughout the market, waiting for some type of manipulation because AMD, we follow AMD, manipulation, distribution. Really wanted to see ES sweep this 5 minute low before we went higher on either NQ or MES. But just because we're already creating a big higher time frame SMT with ES lagging behind NQ. So before taking out some of these resting draws on ES, I wanted to see us SMT some point. So I was pretty patient. Was getting a little bit of FOMO when we were making our move, but controlling my emotions better. We ended up sweeping this at 10:30ish. I don't know why I traded before that, 10 o'clock. Or we're actually filling this. Was it a 5 minute? Okay, yeah. We were filling this 5 minute gap, and I saw ES was extremely behind NQ. So I was like, okay, this could work. Um, we saw manipulation through the 5 minute right here. We manipulated these lows right here. So I was like, okay, we have a pretty strong trade here. Didn't have a very good target, except really I was kind of targeting this TP right here, these relative equal highs and this imbalance to make it intermediate high. And it was honestly a little far-fetched. I mean, what was this? Fucking four risk to reward. It was pretty far-fetched. These highs didn't even end up getting taken out today. But I guess I missed this 1 hour gap because I was too zoomed out. And yeah, that was a mistake I need to work on, not being so zoomed out. And we had this nice draw, this gap, and with the high, and we ended up smashing that draw and we ended up displacing lower, and I went to break even once we swept these 1 minute highs, and I got stopped at break even. So was pretty upset, had a really strong bullish bias, and I wanted to get back in, and I should have controlled my emotions better. However, I did see a very, very strong conviction trade, and and I'm very glad I took it, not only because it played out, but because I think it was a very nice trade. I was a little emotional, or not emotional, but a little wary when we weren't displacing through this gap, this 30-second gap. Just because I like to see a V-shape displacement through the gap, and that would be best. And we kind of chopped up on the 30-second, and it was scaring me a bit, but I stayed true to my strategy and I stayed in the trade, and it ended up playing out. And we had nice draws over here with this low resistance liquidity. And I thought this was a very strong draw, and I was very confident these were going to get taken out. And it was one of my better trades just because right after we hit my draw, we displaced back lower and started doing whatever the market does. But this was an A plus 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 setup for me, honestly. Um, like I said, this actually turned into a 15-minute gap. This is why I marked out the 15-minute. Let me delete this other stuff just so we could focus on what we're looking at right now. Okay. Yeah, perfect. So we had this 15-minute imbalance that we did end up sweeping these lows. We ended sweeping up these lows and taking out this 15-minute imbalance. And MES finally took out the draw that I was waiting for it to draw. I mean, waiting for it to take out these 5-minute lows, and we SMT'd inside of a gap, and this was just A plus setup right here. When I see an SMT inside of a big imbalance, that's usually my biggest sign that this trade is gonna bang. Like I had full conviction in this, which is why I entered. But the 30 second was giving me a little bit of a hard time, giving me making me worry a little bit just because we weren't displacing. But we ended up seeing a V-shape pullback, and that gave me strong conviction. And we never crossed below consequent encroachment, and we stayed above it, and that was also a very strong sign. So we mark out the 30 second on here, I think. Yep, 30 second. Honestly, there was a small 30-second gap here that we were kind of respecting off this candle, and I was like, oh, is this a rush trade? I should have waited for that one. And honestly, the best thing to do would have been waited for this one to inverse. We would have entered here. A little less of a risk to reward, but it would have been safer, and I probably should have done that. But I got a little hasty, and we had a very nice respective consequent encroachment, which just made me so confident in this trade. So we have a 30-second inverse, and right as I saw this 30-second inverse after respecting consequent encroachment, and we're SMTing inside of a imbalance, I was like, this is perfect. But however, I had no idea if my bias might have been wrong for the day. So I was like, okay, once we hit this gap, I believe this is a 5-minute gap. Yep, we made a 5-minute gap here, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna move my stop to break even once we hit this gap, just because if we respect this gap, it's gonna go lower and stop me out. So I was like, I'd rather just be on the safer side once we hit these highs, once we hit the 5-minute gap, let's go to break even. And so right as soon as we hit this gap with this big nice Drake fucking candle over here, I ended up moving my stop to break even. Always moving my stop to break even about 20 plus dollars so it could count for the fees to enter the trade. And yeah, I put my stop at break even at this point in time, and it ended up displacing through the 5 minute, and I was like, okay, this looks amazing. And yeah, we smashed the TP. Great draw, great trade. Very proud of myself. I hope to stay consistent with this, and yeah, I don't know how many times to say, but I fucking failed 30 plus accounts. Probably had 5 evals that I did pass, and I ended up blowing those accounts from being so unprofitable. Honestly, I might have just fucking entered right back in once we entered this gap um, earlier in my life. But I'm glad I stayed true to myself, and stayed true to my word, and I'm following my rules pretty well right now. I'm just waiting to see how I react off a loss, and that'll be the biggest testament. Because I will say, once I got break even here, I was a little bit antsy. I wanted to get back into a trade just so I wouldn't lose today's earnings, just because I knew it was very bullish. But honestly, my prediction wasn't even that correct, to be honest. We ended up hitting my draw and then going back down. So bias good. Overall, pretty decent day. A plus setup in my opinion. And yeah, let's look at the performance. 75% win rate. Pretty proud of myself over that. Um, yep, looks good, looks good. So to end off Tuesday, we're up $894.12. Let's pray and hope I continue this green streak right now. I'm on a pretty nice win streak right now. And I just really hope that I stay true to my rules and I stay disciplined. And we'll see on the next day or the following week if I could stick to my strategy and follow my risk management. I really hope to see when we do have a losing day how I'm gonna react, and that'll be the biggest test of if I'm profitable yet. But yeah, great day so far, and hope you guys enjoy your Tuesday. Have a good one.